Hello, and welcome to Music Theory Lesson 9. In this lesson, we are going to continue developing our understanding of rhythm. Rhythm is the pattern of sound and silence in music. It tells us how long notes last, where the beat is felt, and how music moves through time. In earlier lessons, we learned basic note values and simple time signatures such as 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Today, we are going to expand those skills by learning about 16th notes and rests, dotted notes, compound meter, and 6/8 time. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify and count 16th notes and rests, explain the difference between simple and compound meter, interpret the numbers in a 6/8 time signature, recognize the two larger pulses in 6/8, compare 3/4 and 6/8 time, calculate the values of dotted notes, and count common rhythmic patterns in 6/8 time. Let's begin with a quick review. Before we introduce 16th notes, let's review the note values you already know. A whole note lasts for 4 beats. A half note lasts for 2 beats. A quarter note lasts for 1 beat. An eighth note lasts for half of a beat. Notice that each time we move to a smaller note value, the duration is divided in half. One whole note is equal to 2 half notes. One half note is equal to 2 quarter notes. One quarter note is equal to 2 eighth notes. This pattern will help us understand our next note value, the 16th note. A rest tells a musician to remain silent for a specific amount of time. Each rest has the same duration as its matching note value. A whole rest lasts for 4 beats. A half rest lasts for 2 beats. A quarter rest lasts for 1 beat. An eighth rest lasts for half of a beat. Even though we do not make a sound during a rest, the beat does not stop. We must continue counting internally so that we know exactly when to begin making sound again. A 16th note is worth 1/4 of a beat in a simple time signature such as 4/4. 4 16th notes fit inside 1/4 note beat. Let's compare that with the note values we already know. 1/4 note lasts for 1 full beat. 2 eighth notes also last for 1 full beat. 4 16th notes last for that same amount of time. Because 16th notes divide the beat into 4 equal parts, we need 4 counting syllables. We commonly count 4 16th notes as 1, E, and A. For the second beat, we would say 2 E and A. For the third beat, 3 E and A. And for the fourth beat, 4 E and A. The number marks the beginning of the beat. The syllables E, and A divide the rest of the beat into equal parts. Let's snap 4 16th notes while counting. 1, E, and A. Try to keep all 4 sounds evenly spaced. 16th notes should not rush or become uneven just because they move more quickly. Let's compare 3 ways of filling one beat. First, 1/4 note. Next, 2 eighth notes, 1 and. Finally, 4 16th notes, 1 E and A. The total amount of time is the same in all 3 examples. What changes is the number of sounds placed inside the beat. A quarter note gives us 1 sound. 2 eighth notes give us 2 sounds. 4 16th notes give us 4 sounds. Subdivision helps musicians place these sounds accurately within a steady beat. A 16th rest creates silence for 1/4 of a beat. It lasts for exactly the same amount of time as a 16th note. When 16th rests appear within a rhythm, we still count every part of the beat. We simply remain silent on the part represented by the rest. For example, imagine a pattern containing a 16th note on 1, a 16th rest on E, a 16th note on and, a 16th rest on a. We would still count 1 E and a. However, we would only clap on 1 and. Let's try. Count every syllable but clap only on 1 and. 1 E and a. Again, 1 E and a. The rests do not remove parts of the beat. They tell us which parts should be silent. This is why musicians must continue counting carefully through rests. Now that we understand how beats can be divided, we can examine two different ways that music organizes those beats. These are called simple meter and compound meter. In simple meter, each main beat divides naturally into two equal parts. In compound meter, each main beat divides naturally into three equal parts. The words simple and compound do not describe how easy or difficult the music is. They describe how each beat is divided. The time signatures we have studied so far, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, are examples of simple meter. In these time signatures, the quarter note represents the main beat. Each quarter note beat can then divide into two eighth notes. In 2/4 time, there are two quarter note beats in each measure. We count 1, 2. In 3/4 time, there are three quarter note beats in each measure. We count 1, 2, 3. In 4/4 time, there are four quarter note beats in each measure. We count 1, 2, 3, 4. Because each of these beats divides naturally into two equal eighth notes, these time signatures are examples of simple meter. In compound meter, each main beat divides into three equal parts instead of two. One of the most common compound time signatures is 6/8. At first, the number 6 may make it seem as though there are 6 main beats in every measure. However, 6/8 is usually felt as two large beats, with each large beat divided into 3/8 notes. That creates two groups: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first group contains eighth notes 1, 2, and 3. The second group contains eighth notes 4, 5, and 6. You can think of the measure as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The emphasis on 1 and 4 help us feel the two larger pulses. Let's examine the two numbers in the 6/8 time signature. The top number is 6. This tells us that each measure contains the equivalent of 6 eighth notes. The bottom number is 8. This tells us that the written subdivision is based on the eighth note. However, in most 6/8 music, we do not feel 6 equally strong main beats. Instead, those 6 eighth notes are grouped into two sets of 3. The first larger beat includes counts 1, 2, and 3. The second larger beat includes counts 4, 5, and 6. The strongest pulse usually occurs on count 1. A secondary pulse occurs on count 4. Let's count and clap the two larger pulses. Count all 6 eighth notes, but clap only on 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now emphasize the two pulses with your voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This grouped feeling gives 6/8 music its characteristic flowing or rocking quality. Musicians often conduct or feel 6/8 in two large beats. Instead of thinking only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we can also think 1 and 2 and The first large beat contains 3/8 notes. 1 and The second large beat contains 3/8 notes. 2 and Let's try it. 1 and 2 and Both counting systems can be useful. Counting from 1 to 6 helps us identify the exact placement of each eighth note. Counting 1 and 2 and helps us feel the two large compound beats. Sometimes a rhythm contains values that are shorter than an eighth note. When 16th notes appear in 6/8 time, each eighth note subdivision can be divided into two 16th notes. Using the counting system shown in this lesson, we can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. The number represents the eight note subdivision. The and represents the 16th note halfway between that subdivision and the next one. Let's count one complete measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. This detailed subdivision is useful when performing 16th notes, dotted 8th and 16th note patterns, or other complex rhythms. Even while subdividing, we should continue feeling the two larger groups, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. Students sometimes confuse 3/4 and 6/8 because both time signatures can contain a total of 6/8 notes. However, the way those eighth notes are grouped creates a different musical feeling. In 3/4 time, there are three main beats. Each beat divides into two equal eighth notes. The grouping is 1 and 2 and 3 and. We feel three main pulses: 1, 2, 3. The usual accent pattern is strong, weak, weak. Now let's compare that with 6/8. In 6/8 time, the 6/8 notes are grouped into two larger beats. Each large beat divides into three eighth notes. The grouping is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1 and 2 and We feel two main pulses: 1, 2. Using 6 count subdivision, the accent pattern is strong, weak, weak, medium, weak, weak. So although 3/4 and 6/8 may contain the same total number of eighth notes, they are organized differently. 3/4 time is 2 plus 2 plus 2. 6/8 time is 3 plus 3. Listen to the difference. 3/4 time, 1 and 2 and 3 and. 6/8 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The notes may fill the same total amount of space, but the placement of the main beats changes the character of the rhythm. Now let's review dotted notes. A dot placed after a note increases that note's duration by half of its original value. To calculate the value of a dotted note, we use this process. Start with the note's original value, find half of that value, then add the two amounts together. For example, a half note lasts for 2 beats. Half of 2 is 1. 2 plus 1 equals 3. Therefore, a dotted half note lasts for 3 beats. A quarter note lasts for one beat. Half of one is one half. 1 plus 1/2 equals 1 1/2. Therefore, a dotted quarter note lasts for 1 1/2 quarter note beats in 4/4 time. An eighth note lasts for half of a beat. Half of 1/2 is 1/4. 1/2 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. Therefore, a dotted eighth note lasts for 3/4 of a quarter note beat in 4/4 time. The dot always adds half of the original note's value. The dotted quarter note is especially important in 6/8 time. A quarter note is equal to 2 eighth notes. The dot adds half of the quarter note's value, which is one more eighth note. That means a dotted quarter note equals 3 eighth notes. In 6/8, 3 eighth notes make up one large beat group. Therefore, one dotted quarter note fills the first large pulse, 1, 2, 3. A second dotted quarter note fills the second large pulse, 4, 5, 6. A complete measure containing 2 dotted quarter notes would be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could also feel those notes as 2 large beats, 1, 2. This is why the dotted quarter note is often treated as the main beat unit when 6/8 is performed or conducted. Let's practice clapping or snapping this rhythm in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's review what we learned. A 16th note lasts for 1/4 of a quarter note beat in simple meter. 4 16th notes equal 1/4 note. 16th notes are commonly counted 1 E and A. A 16th rest creates silence for the same duration as a 16th note. In simple meter, each main beat divides into 2 equal parts. In compound meter, each main beat divides into 3 equal parts. 6/8 time contains 6 eighth note subdivisions grouped into 2 larger pulses. The strongest subdivisions are usually counts 1 and 4. 3/4 time has 3 groups of 2 eighth notes. 6/8 time has 2 groups of 3 eighth notes. A dot adds half of a note's original value. In 6/8 time, a dotted quarter note equals 3 eighth notes and fills one complete large beat group. When rhythms become more complex, careful counting and subdivision help us maintain a steady, accurate beat. In the next lesson, we'll begin Music Theory Unit 3 by exploring intervals and learning how to identify the distance between 2 notes. If you found this lesson helpful, like this video and follow along for the rest of the Music Theory series. You can also find the printable lessons and worksheets in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Thanks for watching!